How can you build off that second half against Duke, and what are you looking for tomorrow night?
I think we just got to harness, the way we played. Obviously played really well. Outscored them by 11. And, again, just kind of making sure that we understand what led to that. We guarded really well. We took care of the ball better, stayed on the glass, And, again, those are the things that if we continue to pour in, obviously the shot making we want to be better, and we want more out of that area. That's a little less in our control. But if we do those three things well, regardless, we're going to be in every game and give ourselves a chance to win.
UConn's backcourt, it looks like solo ball is trying to create a little more off the dribble, and obviously you're familiar with Silas, just the challenge of defending those guys.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously really good backcourt. They run really good stuff. I think, their half-court offense is hard to guard. They play less out of ball screens than most teams and more out of, staggers and pins and misdirection, which is unique. Silas, his assist rate right now is really high. He's making a lot of the plays for him, finding the shooters. Solo's still scoring, still trying to, pick his spots that way. He's been more effective from 2 than 3 this year. Which is a little surprising. He's finishing better, not shooting as well, but I think that's probably a little fluky. He's still a great shooter on the move, and we're still going to treat him as such tomorrow night. But, a big part of winning tomorrow night's game is doing a good job on both those guys.
And this chance for Boogie, kind of going back to, where he grew up. He had 20 points, I think, and 7 assists against Michigan last year in there. I mean, just how can he build off the second half as well against Duke?
Yeah, just continue to play with that level of confidence. He did a really good job down the stretch of kind of getting in the paint and making good decisions. And, I think he's going to have – tomorrow night's going to be a great opportunity for him. It's going to be a lot and, kind of going back home and playing in that environment. And, I think he's mentally ready to do it and to just, again, go out and play to win, not get caught up in the moment too much. And I think he's mature enough to handle that.
Have you coached at MSG before?
No, never coached in there. Played in there back in 2004, but never coached in there.
Who'd y'all play?
We played in the Coaches versus Cancer against Memphis in the first game and Mississippi State in the second game.
How'd you do?
We lost both games.
But how did you do?
How did I do? I didn't play that much, to be honest. So we were in Cal's bracket. This is back when they had 4 pods. And generally they wanted the high major team to advance. So it was Mississippi State, Cal, Memphis. Can't even remember who the other team was at this point, but we ended up winning at Cal to steal the bid. And when we got there, all the paper, whatever, it was all Cal still because they obviously expected them, but we won, so we got to go. Great experience. Dickie V on the game. I think Dan Schulman was on the game. So playing in there, 2 times as a redshirt freshman. Was awesome. Didn't play much, but pretty elite experience to be in there.
Did you get to score in Madison Square Garden?
I don't think I scored, man. I think I only got 1 shot up in 2 games or something like that. I was just trying to survive out there at that point in my career.
You didn't miss then.
I missed 1 or 2, but not a lot.
What does it mean for you to be going there for this event with Jimmy V, especially your connection last year to him?
Yeah, no, first of all, it's an honor to be invited. Right, like we have to be invited. This isn't something that we just sign up for and get to go do. So for them to select us to be part of it means a lot to our program. And yeah, my wife and I have done a little more with Dick Vitale and the cancer research over the last couple of years, and this obviously a little related to that, and so something that we take pride in, and it's just a great night, a great experience, and again, like I said, to be one of the 4 teams playing in that means a lot to us.
Is there a common denominator with New York City players, do you think?
I think a lot of them are tough. They're pretty confident. That's at least the stigma, so to speak. When we talk about that, it's changing a little bit. There are less and less players coming out of the city, because they're moving earlier to go play at prep schools or go play elsewhere. But that's kind of what I think of when I think of Boogie too. He's a tough, gritty guard. Who can get in the paint and make plays, really good on-ball defender. But again, you think of those guys as, being alphas, tough guys that are not afraid of the moment.
How excited are you to match up against Hurley again, just given y'all's relationship and obviously the game last year?
Yeah, it's just another great opportunity for us. Danny's a great coach, obviously. Back-to-back natties we have formed a little bit of a friendship over these last, year and a half. I know there's a lot of mutual respect for the way each other competes and to be, the last couple of national champions. And, I know I know they're licking their chops, to get an opportunity to compete against us tomorrow night. I think they feel like they owe us something from last year's tournament game, and we're going into it with the same mentality. So I expect, similar to Arizona was out in Vegas, similar to what Duke was last week, I expect a great battle tomorrow night.
Are keeping the turnovers down the most important thing for this team to succeed? I feel like you guys might even be unbeatable if the turnovers are down single digits type thing.
It's definitely, I would say yes. Trying to focus on one thing on each side of the ball. Turnovers on offense, we're fouling too much defensively. But ultimately, if I had to choose one, I would say yes. We had taken better care of the ball. And again, a perfect example is the second half at Duke. We didn't shoot ourselves in the foot in terms of allowing turnovers to turn into pick six layups, other than I think Boozer got one on us, and then the late turnover when we didn't get a shot on the last possession, really hurt. But other than that, the turnovers, we didn't turn it over much. We didn't shoot it great, but we just got it up on the rim, created second chances for us, did a pretty good job from the foul line. But what it does is, complementary basketball, when you turn it over more, you're playing in transition defense more. You're playing an advantage, disadvantage, so you're getting more fouls and stuff like that. So, yes, I think if this team could, start living around the 16% or 15% turnover rate level, we're going to give ourselves a great chance to be a really, really good team for the rest of the year.
What is it now?
About 19, 18 and a half, something like that. And then, so the margin is this, right? It's, two turnovers a night, maybe even three specific nights, but that's really all we need. We don't need to be 10 points better. We need to get 3 or 4 points better over 100 possessions. If we do that, we'll go from being 13th on KenPom to 5th. And if we can do that, then we'll take whatever results we get the rest of the way.
Do you have any outlet for complaining about or getting answers to the flagrant foul and then the non-call on the goaltending? Two pretty big plays in the game. Yeah,
we do. We're able to talk to Mike Eads, who coordinates the officials for the SEC. And I had a great conversation with him. And to his credit, I think he's very fair and reasonable. Some discussions with the ACC coordinator as well. I think part of Tommy's flagrant, maybe could have been because they called one on Malik Brown that was, a 50-50 call a couple plays before. And maybe they saw it similar, like maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but because they called one on him, maybe reasonable to call one on him. I think that's probably a good place to land on that one. I think the goaltend was just a miss, and that can happen, and we had 3 great refs on that game, and as I said, we have to play better to not put ourselves in a position where the refs are human. We're human. I made plenty of mistakes the other night. We can't allow one call that doesn't go our way to affect the outcome of the game, or we don't want to put ourselves in that position, and that's where we were. We played a very good game against Duke, but not good enough to guarantee victory, and so I think that's where that lands. And as I said, in those games, there's going to be some tough ones both ways. And I'm sure John felt the same way on some, but we just got to be a little bit better.
That's why you got to win by 10, right?
50-50? What?
The one with Condon?
Sorry?
You thought that was a 50-50, the one with the Duke player?
No, I think he got hit. I'm just saying I think that's probably what they saw. And we got to live with it.
Can the challenge rules be improved? I mean, they lose their challenge, and then
he's
able to go talk to the official, and then they go review
there's really 2 kind of buckets of challenges, and I think it's really confusing. You have your challenge, which they had already used and lost, and then you basically have like an appeal that you can appeal on like flagrant type calls if you see something that's also, you get banged with a timeout if you miss it. So you have a lot of opportunities throughout the course of a game to challenge based upon what the play is, and credit to Duke. I mean, they saw an opportunity to use another appeal, and they did it, and they got the call, and it changed the complexion of the game. So credit to them.
John Summerall said that you guys spoke during the search. He said Megan even recruited his wife to Gainesville. What was it like for you guys just to connect with them?
He seems great, man. From the moment I spoke to him on the phone, I was like, this guy seems like our kind of guy, I think he has a very similar mentality to what I did, when he got the opportunity, just like, man, like getting the chance to coach at Florida, like you can do some great things. And, he's humble. I think he has a great understanding of what this place wants right now in their football program. Obviously winning, but just in terms of being explosive offensively, I give him a lot of credit. He's managing 2 jobs right now, doing them both pretty dang well from what I can tell. great win, against North Texas on Friday night to get his team in the playoff, and hiring 2 great coordinators here last week. I think he's already off to a great start here, and you can tell, and everybody knows this place is very passionate about their sports. And, if there was anybody that had question marks about him when he got hired, I think just the passion that he had in his press conference, and then, his ability to go get 2 great coordinators in the first 5 days on the job, I think has pretty much everybody behind him now. And, I think everybody should root for him and his squad, over these next couple of weeks and see if Tulane can pull the upset at Ole Miss. And then I think everybody should feel really good when he gets here that this program's going to get started in the right direction.
Kind of cool that his first stop in Gainesville was your program.
Yeah, it was great, man. I think, like I said, I think he saw a lot of similarities between, ourselves when he got the job and the level of excitement that he had. And it seems like he has a great family, and I think he'll do really well here.
What's Boogie's mid-range game? What will that unlock? I mean, I thought those couple shots were pretty impressive, and is that where he operates best, maybe? I mean, he's good at driving too, but that kind of was an element that.
Yeah, listen, our deal, and we hunt threes and layups, right? That's our goal. But as you saw last year with some of our guys, we're comfortable with them taking mid ranges if they're the right ones, and I think that's what you saw in the second half. When he can get in the paint, and the other guys on the team are comfortable and kind of know what's going on, and he shoots those are great shots for us, because even if he doesn't make them, we're getting on the glass. And the one that he made going right, the one that he made going left, I think both those shots down the stretch were great shots within our offense. And then he did a great job getting all the way to the rim on the next one, finishing off 2 feet. So, again, it takes time. I think you go back and watch the film of the new guys last year, and when they started getting cooking, it was more kind of the end of December before they really started getting really comfortable. And, I think that half in that environment, says a lot about the ceiling that he can play with.
And this turnover at the end for him, how did he kind of assimilate, that's not the right word, but kind of process that? Was he pissed? Was he still talking about it?
We were all pissed.
I know, but how did he kind of handle it, and how do you think
I thought he handled it great. Listen, man, it's basketball. In those situations, you go back and you second guess the decisions you make. And, again, in that moment after he made the shot, I didn't want to give them an opportunity to set their defense or come out in a zone or something where, we draw something up and then we're disorganized because they've made an adjustment. Generally speaking, you want your offense to attack a defense that's not set or doesn't have a plan in place, and I thought that's what we were going to be able to get. I should have used one a little earlier once we didn't get anything off that initial action. I think there was one opportunity to get it to Kondo when he was pretty open in the middle of the floor. We just didn't get it to him, so I tried to use one with about 6 seconds to go and just was a half second too late in calling it. So, those are the 50-50 moments where you wish you maybe make a different decision. But similar to what I said earlier, you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're relying upon executing on the last play of the game to win. So something that we can improve upon. We'll have a little bit better of a plan if we get in that situation tomorrow night.
You said tough, though, with him. I mean, is it would that light a fire in the guy, you think, a little bit? To have it, slip through his fingers a little bit after playing so well?
Yeah, I think, again, holistically and on a macro level, I think the second half was something that he can really build on, and we as a team can, so I don't think we're focusing too much on that last play. It stings enough losing the game. More focusing on the positives of, we went out there and outscored them by 11 on their home floor in the second half to give ourselves a chance to win at Cameron.
But you beat yourself up over the timeout?
I go back and forth. I've always been a guy that wants to let my guys play in that situation.
You owned it after the game, though.
Yeah, I think, you're going to always second guess it when it doesn't work out, right? And if he would have came off the ball screen and made a shot, we would have been really thrilled we let him play, But, again, maybe just having a little bit better of a plan. I thought we could get him and Kondo in that middle ball screen and get a little disadvantage, and it didn't work out.
Thanks, Todd.
Thanks, guys.